Welcome to the Acta Non Verba podcast. I'm Minty, and here we'll talk about business, freelance, mindset, education, mental health, life, personal growth, and everything to help you overcome your fears, know yourself, and create the life and career of your dreams. Each episode aims to provide you with motivation, inspiration, and advice to take control, achieve your goals, and elevate your life so you can take action, because we believe in deed, not words. Episodes in English and Spanish every week. Welcome back to the Acta Non Verba podcast. Today, I'm honored to have Anna Lemontea on the show. Anna is a talented polyglot and musician from Venice, who's also got a passion for languages, music, and community building. She's also a co-working Twitch streamer, and she's also the main reason why I keep being productive during the week. So thank you, Anna. She's also a singer at Midsummer Lemon, and she loves traveling. And she's also a freelance language teacher, a student, a mental health and LGBTQ advocate. And Anna's streams are just a safe space. And she loves building a beautiful community. Her community is just amazing, guys. If you have ADHD and you're a freelancer and you want to find a place where you can just focus, you need to go find Anna. Like, seriously, go right now.
What an introduction.
Yeah, well, you actually help me and other people become more productive, especially on the days that we feel low, like you feel like a safe space. So with that said, I don't want to continue going on and on, but I just want to say thank you, Anna, for being here. And I'm so excited for this chat.
Thank you very much for inviting me. And hi, everybody who is watching this. I wasn't expecting such a long introduction, but while you were saying this, I was like, yeah, it's true. I do that and also that. And that's like also trouble when people ask me, what do you do in your life? I have so many things I want to say. So that was incredible. Thank you very much. I saw that you wrote it down.
You do a lot of things. That's why I had to write it down, because I was going to forget.
Yeah.
And now I like to start the podcast because I don't know, the way that I like to understand where people are coming from is by asking, like, I mean, you do all of these things that in a way they don't make sense with each other. Like if you think about it, language, music, teaching, podcast, not podcast, sorry, the streams, the pomodoros. But if you really think about it, they're all interconnected. I mean, when you look at them, it doesn't seem like they are connected, but they actually are. So I would like to know a little bit about your background and how you actually got those ideas. Like why did you decided to go for languages, to start your own band and to stream and, you know, all of that. I would like to know the background behind that story.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I have it. Most of the things I do right now, full time, let's say, I've been doing all my life as hobbies. And to me, like there's been a very long process of this self-discovery, let's call it, because we live in a world where, at least when I was very young, there wasn't internet. Like internet wasn't such a big thing like it's today. And I lived in a very small city. So I was so used to think about life in a very normal way. Like you get married, you get a job at a company or whatever, and then you get old, I guess, or then you keep doing this kind of things. And instead, I've been so lucky to meet during my journey on this earth so many people that inspired me and showed me that there is more to life, and that you don't really have to do things that you don't like in your life, that you can and should do the things that inspire you and then make you feel creative, and that is worth doing what you're doing, right? And so I've been doing all these things all my life. I've been doing music since I was like 10 years old with a band, and I've been studying languages all my life, really. And I decided to also study languages for my academic career. So I'm studying, even now at university, I'm studying languages and linguistics. And I also always taught, like it seems crazy, but I was teaching when I was 14, 15 years old already.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it was something I liked. Not only, I also am a designer for the Polyglot magazine right now.
Oh, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be our 10th issue this month, and it's very exciting.
So wait, for everyone who doesn't know,
yeah.
Anna has a Polyglot magazine. What do you usually write in the magazine? What can people find in the magazine?
Yeah,
And
so
in your
it's a
community, because you also have the Gladly Global community. So for everyone
yeah,
listening.
that's a very big part. I volunteer in this big community called Gladly Global, which is it's a safe space. Again, you were using this expression that I like very much. It's a safe space for people who want to learn languages. On internet, there are so many spaces for languages already, but I always felt like there was not a space that I could call home in a way where I felt like I was belonging. Of course, practicing is important, but it's also good to have a space where you can feel safe, right, and be with your friends and inspire each other. So this is a community that we built, and no, we started as a YouTube channel actually. So that's another thing. Like I like editing, I like art, like digital art, and we started doing this Polyglot magazine the year of the pandemic, I believe, and we published it, and it's a team effort. So there are some writers, we got some people who write, there are guests to our magazine, and we have an artist who makes beautiful art, the cover art, and also inside. And I am mostly the person who puts everything together at the end. Yes,
That's a big
so
job.
yeah, and that's I've been writing, like drawing books, like fake books, since I was in elementary school.
Wow.
Actually, yeah,
Really?
I used to literally put piece of paper together and draw and make books, like comic books and stuff like that.
Oh my God,
So
I love it. I used to do that too, but I don't think they were as good as yours. Because like if
no.
you read my if you like look at this, this is how I write. Like I'm like a child. Well, you can't see. I'm like a child. I can't draw. I can't write. I can't draw. I can't write. I can't do writing actually.
I think, yeah, no, it's all practice in the end, right? Like everything in this life, it's you cannot be good if you don't do it a lot, and you get comfortable with it. And I think like this kind of so like thinking back, all the things that I'm doing right now that are in my life, or even my job, they are all things that I used to do and that I used to enjoy. And I feel like a lot of us probably have something like that. It's maybe not as many as I do, and that's normal, I think. But one thing maybe that we used to do, maybe we don't have time to do anymore, but we really enjoyed. And looking back, there is definitely something like that in all of us. And I learned how important it is to not let it go. If something inspires you, if you like it, if you feel like your eyes are shimmering when you talk about it, then you should never let it go. I think life is too short to let it go. Right.
You're absolutely right. And I always tell people when they reach out to me and they're like, I don't know what to offer, because most people that probably follow me, they just want to build a freelance career because maybe they don't like working at a big corporation, because it's, for many of us, it's not a safe space for our mental health. I don't know if you've ever been at a corporation. It's just no.
Yeah, I worked for a big corporation. I know what you're
It's
talking
not
about.
for all of us. It is really not the place for all of us. And for some other people, it could be, well, yeah, I want to make money online because I want to travel the world. I want to become a digital nomad. I want to, I want to live on a vacation, but not really being on a vacation. You know what I mean? But and other people too is, well, I'm from Argentina, so of course I have a big following in Argentina, and the economy here is terrible. So if you work as a freelancer, then you get paid in dollars, and that means you live good off of that in Argentina because of the economy. So there are plenty of reasons people might be listening to this. And I wanted to talk to you about that too, because many people come to me and they're like, look, I understand English, but I can't speak it as a native, or I cannot write fluently. So I don't know if I could offer these types of services or whatnot, but they do have something that they don't realize that they have. They're a native Spanish speaker, right? So they could be teaching languages, and that would also be a freelance job. So what are your 2 cents working as a teacher? Because you teach, what do you teach? You teach English, Italian, and Japanese. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So wait, for everyone else, I need to brag about Anna. Anna speaks, of course, Italian because she's Italian. She speaks Venice. I didn't know Venice existed until I met you. I seriously didn't know that was a thing.
Venetian, you mean? Yeah.
Venetian, not Venice, Venetian, yeah. And well, English, as you can see. She speaks, I don't know, I don't speak Japanese, but whenever I hear her talking, for me, like, she speaks perfect Japanese. What else? Norwegian too? Is there any other
those are the languages I speak, but I am also learning other languages when I have free time, which is not much. So right now I'm focusing on Norwegian. I wouldn't go as far as saying that I can speak Norwegian, not yet. But my best friend is from Norway, so I have big motivation to learn it as well. And so I will get there at one point. My fifth language. Let's go. It's just that I am a little bit I'm very meticulous, and like I like to know how to talk in a language in a way that makes me so that I'm able to speak about the things that I enjoy and that I want to discuss about. So sometimes when people are like, oh yes, I learned French in 1 week, whatever, and they learn maybe 100 words, and yes, you can have a basic conversation, right, with somebody when you say that, but I would like to talk about what you think about maybe religion in your country, or politics sometimes, or literature, like things that actually makes me feel like I have a connection with somebody.
A cultural exchange.
Yeah, definitely. And just because I like languages to be able to know other people through their own culture. I don't like to be outside, like an observer from outside. I like to get inside a little bit.
Yeah, makes sense.
See things from their point of view as well, or at least trying. And this is the reason why I've studied Japanese for so long, and I'm still studying Japanese at university right now, because I feel like I just scratched the surface. Even if I have been living in Japan. By the way, yes, I did live in Japan for 3 years, and I've studied Japanese for 10 years now. I feel like
you lived there 3 years. That's why you speak that good. Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, but
do people in Japan, just this is me being curious, do people in Japan speak English, or is it hard to find people who can speak good English in Japan?
Yeah, I think, well, it feels like a lot of people, so Japanese and English are very different languages. It's so much easier for a European person to learn English because somehow there are some common roots, right, for the European languages.
Yeah, of course.
But Japanese is like, thinking about how difficult it was for me to learn Japanese. I understand how Japanese people would find it very hard to learn English without a strong motivation. So all of the time, other than very basic A1 level English, maybe some words only, like eat here, no, like this kind of things that restaurants is you cannot find many people who speak English, and this actually surprises a lot of people who go to Japan. They're like, how is it possible in big cities they cannot even speak English? And I have something to say also to these people, by the way. You cannot pretend that you cannot not pretend, sorry, this is a false friend with Italian. You cannot expect, that's the word, thank you. You cannot expect anybody who lives in a country where English is not a recognized language to know English. You should learn that language. You're in the country.
I need to say something. As me being a Spanish speaker and you being an Italian speaker, there is this common thing that, because of course English is the lingua franca, they expect that everywhere they go, they need to speak English, but it's not the case in most cases.
Oh no, yeah, it is not. Maybe you can, if you really are lost and you need to ask for directions, and you maybe could try to find somebody who speaks English for that. But then why? My question is, why are you trying to connect to somebody? Just going to their country if you don't want to make even the effort to maybe be able to communicate or say some things in that language, right? I understand it's many people want to go to many different places, and it's impossible to learn all the languages in the world. But if you really want to connect with somebody, you cannot use English all the time. It's very important. It's very important to be able to speak each other native languages. I think this strongly, honestly, very, very strongly, because I also had partners who were I mean like boyfriend, who were of different cultures. So we had languages in common, but the communication was so much different.
There's always a barrier.
Yeah,
like if you wanted to share something that is very Italian, you will find it, like you can translate it, but it's not the same. And this is
It's
the thing.
not the same.
I have the same thing with Spanish. Our languages are very similar. They're like very abstract language, very beautiful for poetic, it's very poetical. It's very like lyrical. It may not sound as beautiful as probably the English language for some people, but it's poetical. And I have, look, I studied to become a translator. I do consider myself bilingual. Like my brain thinks in English most of the time, but there are some things that I would love to be able to communicate in English. I wouldn't be able to, because the Spanish is like, it's that I don't know, it's like you lose an element of the language, you know?
Yes. I completely agree. I mostly use English for work, let's say, like work related things. So for me, communicating in English to somebody, it sounds professional sometimes.
Yeah, or for selling.
But Italian for me is the language of feelings, right? What I feel, I can express the best in Italian. So it makes a lot of sense for me to be able to, especially if it's a friend or even lover, like that kind of connection for me has to happen in Italian. Like it cannot, like I feel like I want to say those things in that way. And it's true that language shapes what we feel, and we feel things also connected to the languages we know. And so I encourage everybody who is just an English native speaker to learn maybe a Romance language or another language to discover those feelings that maybe could be a little bit buried under the English, right?
Yeah.
I feel
and guys, if you want to learn Italian, go with her. Like, and so now I would like to ask you, what are your tips for people who want to learn a new language? Like your top, I don't know, top 3 tips.
Okay. So yes, I've been speaking about this a lot actually. So there's many things, many tips, many things you could say. But I think the number one thing to have whenever you learn another language is to have a strong motivation, because learning a language is not like YouTuber would like you to think 1 week, 1 month, even 1 year journey. It's a very, very, very long journey, and you need to have something that keep you pushing to be able to make that effort to learn that language. So the number one tip is to find strong motivation. I was talking earlier about Norwegian, right? And I said my best friend is from Norway, so I feel like I want to speak with him. That's why I want to learn Norwegian. That is one strong motivation. And they say that the biggest motivation of all is love. Usually it could be friendly love, like platonic, or actual love, like for a partner. That is the strong motivation you can have. Otherwise, some people learn languages for find a job in a different country. That's also a very strong motivation.
Or a love for it could be also a love for a culture too. Like that, for me, that happened with English and with Swedish. Like I fell in love with the culture and the way people are. And I was like, you make friends and you're like, oh, they get my sense of humor. I like this culture. So I want to learn their language. But definitely there needs to be an intrinsic motivation, not just external, like, I just want to make money.
I just did an exam on social linguistics, which is kind of let's say a study of the way language is used socially. And it made me reflect on the fact that honestly everything comes down to relationship in the end. When you talk about language, you could learn a language just for yourself, but we use language to connect it. And actually there's terminology about this. We talk about languaging, so using languages, like languaging, be someone in a language and use the language to connect with somebody else. And it's very important to keep in mind that you're not learning a language because you're accumulating vocabulary, but you want to use that with somebody in the future, right? It could be the person of the shop where you went to buy a souvenir, or it could be your next best friend. You have no idea who it's gonna be, but it's good to have like that idea in mind that you're gonna use that language for something, and keep that as your motivation to keep going, right?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Are there any other tips that you would like to give?
Yeah, so another tip would be other than that motivation, to have to figure out some goals. the goals that you can decide could be like extreme goal. I want to go live in that country forever, and I want to work in that country, for example.
Right.
But it could even be like I want to meet somebody from that country because I think the culture is interesting. I want to have friends. I want to get to know that other culture through these other people. Or it could be, I don't know, I want to take a trip and I want to be able to order food in that language.
Right.
You know, it could be any kind of goal. And but it's good to have a clear idea on how. So we were saying like why I want to learn language and also how I want to use the language, because it's going to be a different path for you. Like, let's say I want to become a political journalist and so I want to write articles in Japanese, speak about politics in Japan. That's going to be a very different journey compared to the person who just wants to order sushi, right? So it's important to keep that in mind to understand what are the steps to get there. And that's actually the first thing, like whenever I have a new student, the first thing that we talk about is, what do you want to do? What are your goals? You know, what do you want to be able to do with that knowledge once you get it, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's one of the most important things.
Yeah, it's a good conversation to have, and it's one that not many teachers have with their students. Like, seriously, it's hard to find a teacher that goes, okay, why do you want to do it? And that keeps you motivated too, because you know, sometimes people just do it for the money, but maybe in the meantime they actually discover this passion for language learning or for that particular culture or anything. The story, it could be anything. So yeah. And now talking about languages, so you work as a freelance teacher at Italki, is that correct?
Yes, Italki, exactly. I started during the pandemic and there was a lot of work to do because a lot of people were working from home. So they were studying, they had so much more free time to study.
Right.
I had also a student who didn't have much work to do at home. So they would take lessons during work hours even, which I don't think it's legal. So I'm not but
let's not give any names.
No. But it was, or like people who got COVID. I had a student once who was like, I got COVID, so I cannot go out for 2 weeks. So I want to like just study Italian for 2 weeks, like every day. So
that's a good one.
Yeah, so like this kind of things happened, but right now the pandemic has ended, or is ending, is getting better, and honestly it's harder to find students. So it's not, I wouldn't recommend to, like, it's not like the time probably to want to do something like that full time. Honestly, I keep doing it because I have 3,000 things to do, like you said in the beginning of this video, and it's very important for me. So one of the things that I really enjoy about being a freelance teacher is that teaching online, I can choose when to teach. So I have my hours and the students just book the lessons. I am flexible, of course, if they need a specific time or specific day or something like that. But this allows me to choose by myself what to do. And that's something I don't want to lose, even though I'm not making that much money right now. But it's okay. And
but you could, I mean, if you grow your personal brand and you position yourself as a teacher in Italian and you become an authority figure in your field, because you actually are, if you think about it, you're a person who managed to learn so many languages mostly on her own. That to me gives you quite an authority, like, okay, this girl, she knows what she's doing, she knows how to learn a language, so it would be great to learn from her. Like, to me, it's not impossible to actually make a lot of money doing that if you wanted to. But it's another possibility for people that, you know, when they're like, oh, I don't know English, I don't know what to do. Well, you could maybe teach Spanish, who knows? Maybe it's not the best time, like you say, because of the pandemic is over, but still I think the pandemic came and it shifted the way we worked. Now people still work remotely. Not everyone, but like every work that can be done remotely, people choose to do it remotely because they prefer to stay at home, or they want to, you know, manage their own time. So I do think that the pandemic has, in a way, come to open this new door of possibilities that before was there, but people were not actually looking at it as a possibility, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. Of course, why go to an English school where they're gonna ask you double the money because they need to pay also for the building, etc. When you can go online and get an online teacher only for you, so it's not a
Yeah,
class.
101. Yeah, that
101
is
for
gold.
half the price, sometimes even less than half. Yeah, there's definitely it's the same. Like I was so I was looking for what do you call it, for a therapist, and there are websites in Italy where you can get an online therapist even, and that's for like the price is definitely less because of course and you're just doing it online, and also it's more convenient. You can do it from your own house, right? And that's the same. So
Exactly.
a lot of things, I feel like a lot of services went online, and that's a good thing because you get to connect with people who are so far away, and before you couldn't do that, right? You couldn't find professionals that are available from all over the world. So
Definitely.
that's definitely
And
good, yeah.
that makes me think too, because I work also from home. I'm a writer, and now I want to transition into Twitch because truly, Anna, and I have to say this, thank you so much. You have no idea how many times you actually helped me become productive when I was really at my lowest. Because you know there are so many streamers out there. I remember I was the middle of the pandemic, and I was working. And being a freelancer, it's a little lonely. You don't have like, you know, colleagues or anyone. And so I felt lonely. And it was like, well, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm a loner in a way, because I do many things on my own. I guess in that sense, we're pretty similar. It seems like I like talking, but it's like, you know, there comes a point when there's, okay, the social battery, like then, you know, it dries up, and then I have to like leave and be on my own, which makes this type of work okay, but at the same time you kind of feel lonely. So I was like, I wonder if there's any like, you know, work with me, because I knew there was this work with me types of video on YouTube, right, with the music, the lo-fi and all that, but it wasn't hitting it. I was like, no, I need someone who's live doing it with me. So I was like, hey, where can I find someone who's live? And I didn't know anything about Twitch. I still don't understand. Every time I'm there, I'm like, hi, I'm the boomer. Like I don't even know how subscription works. I don't understand how it fucking works. But I was like, okay, Twitch, but this is game, so I'm just gonna try it. So I typed in co-working, and I found studies time, but I liked it, but there was something that wasn't hitting it. It didn't feel like what I was looking for. And I also then found JP. I really liked him, but then I happened to find you, and I was like, this is what I was looking for. This is exactly what I was looking for. And you really helped me a lot, because for everyone listening, she does but, well, can you explain what you do on Twitch?
Yeah, okay. So, well, for the people who don't know what Twitch is, it's basically just a live streaming social media platform. So, as you know, probably YouTube also does this now. So there's a lot of Twitch streamers are actually going to YouTube because overall, it's a bigger platform. Twitch is not that known as YouTube is, but it's only for live streaming. So there are the channels are who are live are on your left side of the screen, and it's very nice to see who is live right now. It really feels like do you call it zapping, maybe in English?
Yeah, we do.
Going like from one channel to the other and see what people are doing. And it's mostly for gaming, so the gaming community on Twitch is very big. But new categories are emerging, like software development or art. Art is a very, very big category on Twitch.
Is podcast
And
a thing there? I want to start a podcast there, but I don't know if it's gonna go well.
podcast is also a category, by the way. So there's like a category only for podcasts. So that's definitely something you could try out. Yeah. And the category I'm in is called just chatting for now. We are actually fighting with Twitch because we want
There
a
should be a
co-working category.
yeah.
There should
Because
be
it became
actually.
big by big.
Yes. So if you want, I can leave you a link. There is a petition going on because Twitch asks for if we have things to advise, to change, etc. And we have this petition that has more than 1,000 upvotes. So we hope that Twitch will see it, and we will have a co-working category finally.
I think they will eventually, because it's growing.
Yeah, it's growing, but it's still very small compared to others. So that's why.
Yeah.
But it's very much growing, you're right. And there's people from all over the world speaking all the languages, doing co-working. Most of the people have a Pomodoro timer. If you have no idea what it is, it's basically focus time. So you choose one period of time. It could be 25 minutes or 45 or 50. Usually it's 50. I recently am doing 100 minutes Pomodoro because it helps me to be productive for a longer period and I feel more in the zone. I start doing the flow thing.
Yeah.
So it's better for me since I'm very busy recently. But you can find any kind of Pomodoro periods. And so after this Pomodoro focus time, you do a little break. And the cool thing about studying live with somebody is that
or working too.
Yeah, co-working is like or working is like co-working, co-studying. It's that in that sorry, said that many times. In that little break time, you get to interact with the other people who are watching the stream, with the stream itself. Sometimes we do games, or in my streams I read tarot and oracles sometimes. Or we
and she's very accurate too.
The cards are, I just read them on Messenger. But yes, it's very funny to interact with your community like that. And honestly, for me, like people think, oh yeah, the streamer is just doing it because they're a streamer. But even if like as a viewer, you're benefiting, but as a streamer, I'm also benefiting because having the pressure of having to be there, and also people are looking at what you're doing most of the time or asking what you're working on, having a camera on you, that gives you the pressure that you need for actually getting things done. So it's very important to me. It's a very important part of my routine to be able to stream. Yeah. So
and
yeah, that's what it's about.
As someone with ADHD, I can say that first, the Pomodoro technique helps a lot if you have ADHD. Two, the fact that you're working with someone else, even though you're not sharing the same space, but you are a virtual space, you're sharing a virtual space, that peer pressure actually does help you get shit done, because you feel like, okay, well, everybody else is being productive, so I will try my best. Sometimes you won't, and that's, I'm saying that Anna's stream is good because it feels, I don't know how to say, it's cozy. That's how it feels like. It makes you feel like, oh, I can relax. I can, there's no need to rush. There's no this type of toxic negativity, like go get shit done. That or the music that you choose, the background, the colors, it's everything. And the thing is, that helps you, okay, when you're calm, that's when you're most productive. And if you're like, I need to finish this, oh my God, no, I need to be productive, that's when you do the least amount of work, I see. That's why I think that your streams help me particularly, probably because I have ADHD, probably because I struggle with anxiety, probably because of the two things, I don't know, but it really does help. And
yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. I also feel the same. I have like sometimes I have like different periods of my life. There are periods that are very freaking busy. Like I need to get all the things done, and I realize like that how forcing myself to listen to calming music, because at the beginning actually I was kind of mad sometimes because I was like, oh, I'm listening to lo-fi all the time. I am like, I want to listen to different music, whatever. But now, like, I realize that it calms me down because it's familiar, right? And it's just, it puts me in the zone. And listening to that playlist in particular that I listen to every time, that makes me feel like, okay, it's time to get things done, but like not in a rush. You feel like
your brain has like, your brain is like, okay, when I listen to this music, it's time to work. And like, it feels like that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I honestly only use a playlist when I'm working on something, not any other occasion. So that's also like self-inducing.
And you shouldn't listen to it in any other aspect of your life, because then it's not gonna work for what you wanted to work.
Exactly.
Now, talk about Twitch streams. There's something special about your community that I would like to know if anyone is interested in starting a Twitch channel. Like, how do you build a safe space? Or how did you go about creating the kind of community that you have? Because there's something special about your community. Like, everybody is nice. I don't know how you made it happen, but everybody there is like super friendly, super nice. How did you manage to?
Yes. Okay. The short
that?
answer is I get rid of all the people who bring the vibe down, but that sounds very extreme. Actually, so Twitch being a gaming platform, there are a lot of people who are called trolls, if you're familiar with the term. So people who come in the stream and don't really care about, you know, creating a relationship with you or anything. They're just there to have fun, to say maybe a joke or two and then go away, or like even offend you sometimes. It happened many times. So a lot of streamers, at least because I'm in a big community called the co-working crew of other streamers who do co-working, sometimes I talk with them and they're like, oh, but like, should I time out in this case because I was uncomfortable and I'm not sure how to deal with a person like this. I am the kind of person that is like, if I am uncomfortable, I don't want you here. I'm sorry, but this is not your place to be. And this is like a place that I have created for me to feel safe, and also for other people to come in, of course, and to feel safe as well. So if I don't feel safe, what am I doing here, you know?
Right,
So,
that's where the mods come in, right? Like just they keep them out.
Yeah, mods are, of course, so my mods come and go, so I don't pressure anybody to stay there all the time. But they do enjoy the streams as well, so that's why they're there. But I do the bans myself usually. Because
so you're working, you're taking care of the looking at the promo when it ends, making sure everything is running smoothly, and at the same time checking these things.
Yes, so I've been doing this for more than 2 years, I think. So that's okay. I got used to it, but I always have the chat open on the side, and I have developed kind of like a reflex that I can kind of have the chat in my peripheral. When somebody sends a message, I see it moving with my peripheral view. So that's what I do. And I don't want to put the pressure on anybody to like, oh, should I ban this person or not? Like, this is my community. I know what I want and I know what makes me uncomfortable. So unless it's like blatant, you know, sexual harassment or something like that, then in that case, of course. But if it's like, oh, I don't know what to do, because we want to be nice, we want to give second chances to people. But if you're like, you need to think that you're talking with a person. So if you were to meet somebody on the street, would you be rude or would you try to be nice? Like, exactly. You know, so I don't
are
need
they
anybody
really that are they really that bad? Because, you know, from the other side, I don't see it, because you are, you know, you're taking care of that. So I cannot imagine, like, are they super rude? What the fuck do they do? Like, I'm just me being curious here.
I usually just I remove the memory, because I have this policy on the internet that is, don't interact with things that are not positive. Like, so they cancel everything that is not good in your life. And so, but it's usually something about sexuality, the fact that I have the LGBT tag in my stream. So it's usually, or sometimes when I do
it attracts the idiots, probably.
Yeah, it does. But also, like, being female presenting, it's also like there are a lot of people who feel like they can harass in an easier way. In that case, and my streams are very calm. So a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, why are you not talking? Talk to me. I'm talking to you, spamming like that.
Oh my God.
Because I'm focusing.
People on the internet, the fact that, you know, because we cannot see their faces, is like, that's so coward. That's why I hate the trolls. I mean, like, why? Just like, because we cannot see your face. I mean, what do you gain in exchange by hurting someone or being mean to someone? Like, get a fucking life, you know?
Yeah, 100%. But yes, that doesn't happen a lot, because I think our community is like, it's not, I feel like there are other streamers, I'm not doing names, but there are some streamers that went even to TwitchCon saying that, oh, yes, trolls, they're my friends, you know, come over here, trolls.
I think
they have fun together.
I think they actually use the trolls, because maybe it gives you,
oh yeah,
100%.
100%. And I am not gonna sacrifice the feeling of safeness of my community for
that's
growth.
your brand as well, and that's your thing.
That's what I want to do, because it's also for me, and I'm I've been hurt a lot in my life, and I don't want to be hurt now.
No,
So
of course.
this is my space to feel safe.
Of course. It's
basically.
like your house. You decide who comes in and who doesn't, and that's okay.
Yeah. It's you can knock my door, but if you're being rude, you get out. And
no
that's
jerks
my
allowed.
No.
Now, Anna, I want to ask you something too. So considering that you do all of this, like I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, because I actually thought that you had help when it comes to like, taking care of the trolls and all of that. Now, considering all of this, what is your secret to seem productive? Like you do so many things, and at the same time, you try to take care of your mental health, or control anxiety and all of that. So how do you manage that?
Okay. Yes. So you just said something about having help, and I need to say that I have a lot of help. I don't pressure anybody into helping me. I'm not like the kind of person, oh, if you're a mod, you need to be there at least for the entire stream, and then you need to do all the things, because I'm not moderating the job. Like, I'm not the kind of person who's so the fact that I can rely on people that I know are there, not maybe all the time, but they care about the community as much as I do, and they want to see the community being like a safe space as much as I do. Having these people that have shared my view of whatever the dream is, it's helping. And when I feel like I cannot do it, like it's too much, it's good to have these people to chat about and like kind of like remember why I'm doing this, I guess. So I didn't think so, but when you're doing something like this, like social media related thing, I thought it was a myth, but you start looking at numbers a lot, and like, I don't know, I had 5 less viewers average than last time that I streamed. Why? Like, do people hate me now? Am I doing something wrong? Should I change my overlays? Should I change the time I'm streaming? Should I stream for more time? Or these other streamers doing better than me, but why? Am I not enjoyable? Like, am I not a good entertainer? And you start thinking about all those things because you look at the numbers, right? It's very clear in front of your eyes, and you start forgetting why you're doing it, like in the first time, which is because I like it, because it makes me feel good, because it's something that is making me feel productive, and because I love my community, right? So it's very easy to fall into the trap, and I say it because I fight with this every day. It can become such a toxic environment, and it's good to have people around you that remind you of the good things, the good reason why you're doing this. And so that's how I kind of managed to, like, speaking of streaming, that's how I managed to do it. And for other things that I do, like music, for me is my pick me up. That is like the thing that I have to do so I feel better. I meet up with my band every 2 weeks.
I was about to ask you that.
Yeah, every 2 weeks, and I get to the point, like, when it's the end of the 2 weeks, my mental health starts going down. I meet with them. I feel like I recharge my battery. Like, right. I can do everything. It's like something that literally fills my soul with happiness, right, and keeps me going. So it's good to have like a pick me up activity, like that, something that you really enjoy. And even if like you don't feel like doing, because to meet with my band, I need to take a train, like 2 hours train to go, 2 hours train to come back. Really? I need to stay overnight.
I think you guys were all from Venice. Wow.
No, unfortunately. So it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. So even if it's a lot, you know that kind of activity, it's worth it for your mental health. So I have these kind of things. So having the right people around you, knowing what is the activity that picks you up when you need, it's very important. And the last thing that I do to like keep my mental health, doing all these things, is to make sure I have all my evenings free. So I do all the work, but I do it during the day. So after 9 p.m., it doesn't matter. I'm not doing, unless I have like an exam or something very urgent the next day. I don't I don't do anything, like I don't do work. And that helps me, having those hours even if I'm playing video games or like just taking a shower or
Just for you.
reading, you know, that time, like you need some hours in the day where you do nothing that taking care of yourself, nothing else than that. So those are like the ways that I keep saying.
And how
I
do you
think.
prepare for the day? Because like you start streaming really early. Sometimes I'm like, whenever, and I have such a bad time like waking up. I'm trying to wake up early. I cannot do it. And every time I wake up and I see you, I'm like, oh, finally I made it. At least I get a few lemons. I can get a few lemons. How do you do it? Like,
Well,
start
we're
very
in a
early.
different time zone, to be
Yeah,
fair.
that's true.
So.
But I still wake up late. I still wake up late. Like, to be honest, I woke up at 10 today. Yesterday it was like 11. The other day was like 9. I want to wake up earlier, also because of my work, because I also work with people from Europe. So I should wake up earlier, but I can't do it. But how do you prepare yourself for the day?
I am not a morning person. So
Me neither. I want to be, but
that's why I have 9 p.m. It's such a sounds late, but 9 p.m. is my limit for working, and I usually wake up unless I have something else to do. I usually wake up at 9 a.m. And by 9:30 usually I start working. So if I have to stream by 9:30, I'm live
just
already.
Jump out of bed and start.
Yeah, because if I'm streaming, like I would make tea and maybe like some little snacks for breakfast. I don't really eat a lot for breakfast because it just makes me feel nauseous. So I would get like some snacks while I'm working to take a break. So that's how I do it. I start working first, and then usually the first thing I do is to choose what I'm doing during the day. And I'm talking about this in a second, actually, because it's very important. But I choose what I'm going to do in the day, kind of like figure out what I'm doing. And then I grab snacks, and I will probably have my tea already or something. So I like to kind of make myself at ease. I don't like to like separate too much, like taking snacks or working, but it's like, oh yeah, I'm taking a look, I'm like relaxing, you know. So for me, that's kind of a routine. For deciding what I'm doing during the day, I can show it to you. I have to-do lists for days. I have to-do lists for days, but I actually spoke about this recently with my partner, who is he struggles a lot talking about stress, apparently. And I think probably many people feel this, that they are like kind of building everything inside themselves and never like kind of talking with anybody. And if you're in this situation, the people who are watching this video, definitely talk with somebody. It's important to talk with somebody. And so I told him, like, my number one thing is out of your mind all the things that you don't have to keep in your mind all the time. So writing down the list.
You do like a brain dump, right?
Yeah, for me, writing the list of to-dos means that I am not I don't have to keep it in mind all the time. So like, because it's too many things, like I would literally like, but even if it's like 3 things, let's say, maybe it's 3 big things, I don't know, you should write them down so you don't have to feel like you need to keep them in mind all the time. And the second good things the second very important thing that I told my partner recently was like, after you write them down, you should decide when you're doing them, because I don't know how people do it otherwise, honestly. Probably that's why everybody's stressed. But my parents, for example, do so many things and they keep everything in mind. I have no idea how.
I can't. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4 in the computer, 5 planners, and I still can't keep up.
Yeah. No, I get it. Deciding when you're doing something means that you can relax after you've done something. So I usually decide what I'm gonna do in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. I can show you actually my schedule for today real quick. But in that way, so I have like this kind of printable here. Let's see if I can show it. Maybe. It's like this. So it has 3 sections, right?
I need to ask you how you do those things and how you use, you know what? I got the pencil, never used it. Okay,
no, Canva.
I'll have to ask you.
by the way, I made this and it's available on my Discord server, so I can give this one in particular to you. But basically, Canva is a website where you can find templates for this kind of things. So what I do is I make it and then I import it into GoodNotes on my iPad. But you could literally print it.
So you use GoodNotes to use this. That's the app.
Yes. Yes.
I never know that.
Yeah, GoodNotes.
I'm gonna write that down.
But GoodNotes 5, I think it is. I use it for everything, even for, so this were my homework today for uni. So I wrote it down, for example, because now everything is digital. But yeah, so you choose realistically when you can get things done. So for example, I chose what to do this morning, right? And I have many things that I need to take care of before night today. But the fact that I finished the things that were for the morning meant that I was feeling calm, that I was like, okay, I did what I had to do in the morning. The rest of the things I will worry about later, you know?
It's like, so you're declaring.
Yeah, your brain. I am the person who decides based on, like, you know, how much you can do, you know how much time, how much it will take, more or less, right? So you need to be realistic and choose when and relax after it, you know?
Yeah, makes sense. Total sense.
Yeah.
And now I don't want to take much of your time, Anna, so I'm gonna start closing. But before we go, I want to ask you two things. So what exciting projects do you have in the works? And my ring fell. Okay. So what exciting projects do you have in the works? And what message would you like to share with the listeners? And by projects, that could also be the band. We haven't talked much about that. You have a band. I listened to some of the songs. I fucking loved it. I love the fact that you sing in different languages. And I am waiting for you to come out one day with a song in which you mix all of the languages you speak. That would be fucking amazing. Are you planning to do that?
I'm not sure. I usually don't do more than 2 languages per song because I don't know. It's like when you're speaking in one language, it's like you have one kind of feeling, and like using too many languages at the same time feels very overwhelming to me. Maybe that's why.
You know what? That's why. Something really funny that happens to me is that one of each of the languages I speak, this is gonna sound so weird, but probably you have the same thing. They have its own personality. I'm not kidding. The me you're meeting right now, the English speaking Mechi, she's like on your face, outgoing, salesy. The Mechi in Spanish, she's more like, you know, an introvert and like more feelings and all that. I'm starting to discover the Italian Mechi, the Swedish Mechi. She's like very wise in a way. So fucked up. So I start like in my brain, I have like this whenever I have a problem, and I you know, if I'm not going to therapy or I don't have anyone to talk about that problem with, it's like they all come in and like we have a conversation. It's like, okay, this is what is happening. What do you think? And you get all of these perspectives. It sounds weird. You published so therapeutic.
You published a reel on
that's
Instagram.
The ADHD thing.
I liked it very much, where everybody, like, you have in your mind all the different voices that are in different conversations.
They don't shut up.
I don't think I have that. I think I actually use one at a time, but there are some emotions that are tied to particular languages, for example. So sometimes if I'm always frustrated in Japanese. I don't know why, but whenever I'm frustrated, the Japanese Anna comes out. It's like when I'm complaining, I'm Italian though, so
that makes sense.
So there's like different parts of me kind of that have been taken over with like by languages and culture particularly.
That's so interesting. It is interesting. I think most people who speak various languages have this thing, because I asked them all and they all have this.
I'm pretty sure 100%. And you were asking me about projects.
What's actually in the works? And
so I am working on a new album for Midsummer Lemon, so that's coming this year.
I'm gonna leave it in the notes for people who want to listen.
Well, the first album is already out, and if you want to know a little insight, I also made the artwork for the album and everything, so that's cool. But I sing in different languages because sometimes I feel like I want to share things in different ways, and this is continuing in the new album. We have a song. I already wrote a song in Italian, and one in English and one in Japanese. The one in English, actually, I'm thinking about translating it into Norwegian, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
That would
And
be cool, but
Norwegian
yeah.
and Swedish sound beautiful when sung. Like it's so
Yeah.
lyrical, so beautiful.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. Not sure yet. And so that's a big project that is coming. I'm very excited, also a little bit scared because I wonder if how I will make everything fit together. I will make do as I always do, but it's going to be a challenge. And other big projects are usually like not much, because there's a Polyglot magazine coming out. So this is coming out the 24th of this month in February. So, but that's going to be the last issue for a while because we cannot keep up with the amount of work anymore. So, but there's 10 issues. If you're interested and want to take a look, we have 10 beautiful issues about traveling, language learning, different cultures, language exchange, like all these kind of things. And we have people from all over the world writing for us. And it's there and it's very beautiful. I'm very proud of that. But that means that after publishing this last issue, I will go back to YouTube. So definitely check out the YouTube channel if you want.
Yeah.
And we have a Gladly Global one, right? That is a channel where we used to regularly publish tips about language learning and showing how our life was abroad, etc. And we kind of had a fall down because we did not have our priorities right. So we decided to push everything on the magazine, and that was amazing, by the way. But we disconnected from the community a lot, and we want to go back connecting with it. I've been talking a lot.
How does it work? No, it's okay. And now I actually want to ask you, because I've been literally wondering since I discovered that you had that. How does it work, Gladly Global? Is that like a subscription? Is that like a chat? How does that work?
Yeah, so Gladly Global is just a big name to say many things. It's just a group of people who want to share their love for languages and traveling and living abroad. So that's it. That's what Gladly Global is. So that's why we're now focusing more on having our social media where we share tips and insights and things about people who like us. Okay, that's for like by us, for us, actually, for people like us. And so the YouTube channel is also an extension of that, right? Even a little bigger. So there's gonna be videos coming out soon about all these things, right? Your language and culture journey on the world, in the world.
I like it. Hey, let me know if you ever need something in Spanish. I'll be super happy.
No, 100%. Yeah. And now I would like, we actually have a podcast as well, which is suspended for the moment, but we could do a different podcast.
You need to continue.
Yeah. So this, and we have a Discord community, which is more than 1,000 people there to learn languages. And we have language events there, and that's the place where all the community people get together and actually interact. And we also like go on with the donation of people who subscribe to our services. So we have accountability meetings, and we used to have language coaching, but we're not doing that anymore. Right. It's more about,
do you do exchanges, things like that?
Yeah, it's more like people like coming together because they're interested in the same things. So it's like our space in Gladly Global is more like a safe space for language learners where they can meet people like them and kind of figure out what they want to do. So that's why we have a lot of language exchange events there because of this. It's very nice, actually. But we want the community to kind of self-sustain itself. It's not like us doing things for the community. It's more like the community does things for itself. And this is going on a little slowly, but it's working. We have a lot of people who contribute so much. So that's very
cool,
nice.
because you get to meet people from all over the world. Maybe you meet someone who's learning your language, you're learning theirs. Maybe you end up meeting in person, you make friends, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's very nice. The fact that it's all the languages, but like it's more like this kind of multi-language environment. And then there's also the channels for the specific languages, but it's more about this big, this feeling like you want to meet people who are not the same as you, but the same as you. and that's very nice.
Sounds great. Now, Anna, before we go, I would like to ask you, is there anything I didn't ask you that you would like me to ask you, or that you would like to say?
I don't feel like I mean, unless I forgot something, but I think I said a lot of things that were nice. I don't want to overwhelm anybody as well. I think I'm not so I like to be very spontaneous on the internet, and that's probably I didn't prepare anything like to come
No,
here
it's
that
okay.
much,
This is
but
no worries.
yeah. So no,
for...
I'm just maybe like as a parting thing to say, I would like to say that finding the right people to keep around you changes everything. And if you feel like something's wrong, most likely something's wrong, and you should probably get in a different environment and surround yourself with people that inspire you and that make you feel like you're accepted and that you're safe and that you can grow. So that's what I want to say, probably. Find your people like that. Yes.
I love it. And I want to say this too. I also have a very hard time finding my own people. I usually find them abroad. But this is the cool thing about internet. It connects people. So if you cannot find the right person in your town, in your city, in your country, hey, there's an ocean of people out there that maybe have the same interests than you do. Just go out and try and find them, because they will be there. They are there.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah, it's a very good message. Yeah.
Now,
and I'm glad
Anna,
I met you.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to meet you in person. Like when I went to Italy, it was so sad. I was in Venice and you were sick. Next time we gotta meet. You have to show me, because I got
100%.
lost in Venice.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I need to show you the best places.
Yeah.
I was so sad as well. But you're coming to Italy, so right?
Yeah,
probably.
I will be there. I'll be staying there. So yeah, we're definitely gonna see each other. And now before we leave, where can people find you? The biggest places. I'm gonna leave all your links. It's gonna be a long list.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Mostly.
say like the mostly on Instagram, 100%. So that's where I share like when I'm live on Twitch, you can find information there. When I'm doing something in my life, or when I'm doing tarot readings, and the stories on Instagram are probably the thing that I keep more active, or Discord. But I understand that many people don't really know how to use Discord. I love Discord though. I love Discord, but yeah, definitely Instagram, Discord, Twitch. I'm live on Twitch. Come over, say hi, and that's it. Yes.
Perfect. Well, Anna, thank you so much for coming in. It was amazing. I really had a great time. I wanted to have this chat so much, and I'm sure that people are going to take away many of the things that you said. So hopefully it helps. And for everyone listening, go check Anna. If you cannot focus, if you have ADHD like me, which you probably have, go check her out. You're really gonna need it. So basically that's it. Thank you, Anna, for coming, and yeah, just give her a follow.
Yes, thank you very much, Mechi, for your invite. It was very nice to chat for so long together. Thank you.
Thank you.